Hello there, welcome to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Savannah and I am just sharing our journey on this little homestead with my 6 children and my amazing husband. I had put together a few days of what we had for breakfast and what that looked like, and I was thinking about what sets apart our home. Like, what makes our home different? How can we serve God? How can we glorify God in the mundane? And one of my favorite quotes that I have written down on a postcard of mine with some other Bible verses is, I master the mundane and I do it with excellency. And as moms, we can get tired of doing good so easily because it seems that some of that good that we do might be in vain, and it's not. So I wanted to share with you some thoughts that I had from this book that I was reading, and they just really spoke to my heart. But first, I wanted to talk about this breakfast that I am whipping up. This is something that we go to a lot. It is our favorite sourdough homemade sandwich loaf, which we actually don't really use for sandwiches. We just love to put butter and jelly on it, so I make it a lot for breakfast. I will share that recipe below. I like to make an omelet every now and then when I have the fresh ingredients on hand. And of course, my younger kids love eggs, but my older kids, I have to be a little bit more creative. So I am sharing that recipe later on and how I get eggs into their diet, because we have a lot of them. We have numerous chickens that give us eggs, and we love having chickens. It was one of the first things that we got when we moved to our little acre, our little homestead, and my husband and my son built our coop from the ground up, and we put those little chickens in there, and we officially felt like homesteaders. So it's just a really great way to start and learn so much, and also give your children an opportunity to be responsible over something that they have to keep alive. So yeah, making eggs is just something that we can whip up easily every day. And I made a little omelet, I made some bacon, and I just served it on a platter and put this on the table with some milk. And so we kept things super simple. Another thing that I really like to make fresh in the mornings is just a smoothie with whatever frozen fruit that we have on hand. Add a little bit of protein powder, maybe some shelled hemp seeds. I am straining some fresh kefir, and this is such an easy thing to start making. If you are new to kefir and you've never made your own, let me encourage you that it's super, super simple and has so many good benefits for you. Okay, so now we are on to the next day, and we are going to whip up some of our favorite muffins, and these again are sourdough, and I am going to be using some fresh milled flour. This is really easy to get into if you have been hearing and seeing people milling their flour. You can look up lots of different types of grain mills. I love my grain mill, and it is so easy. We have really been trying to add in half of fresh milled grains to recipes that we have, and I will be sharing more with you that I have been working on in my kitchen using fresh milled flour. But these muffins are so simple, and my children love making them, so I will share the recipe for these below. But it had me thinking while I was in the kitchen as I'm baking with my daughter. She is almost 10 years old, and when we cook together, it is so fun. And then her sisters, who are younger and much more messy, come. She seems to get a little frustrated, and I have definitely felt that as a mom, and just really taking the time to remind yourself that your child has unique strengths and struggles, and we are the person that God has entrusted to be their mother. And just remembering that it is a blessing. But some days it can also feel like such an overwhelming responsibility. So prayer is vital for the health of any Christian, and especially important for a mother. In this season, we can feel so isolated. So turning our hearts and minds to prayer anchors us in the one who can provide all that we need. The next day, I decided to make some sourdough English muffins, and this is one that you have to make the night before. And every time that we make these, we eat all of them. They are so delicious, and the recipe is so simple. So I will link those in the description below for you. I was talking a little bit earlier about how prayer is vital for the health of any Christian, but really important for mothers. And one thing that I kept coming back to was being slow to anger. And I feel like this is such a refining process that we're in as moms. And when we look at Psalm 86, we see a prayer of David, and it reads, "But you, O Lord, are a compassionate and gracious God, slow to anger, abounding in love and faithfulness." And I just love the richness of this verse and see in it that we have to consider the words that we speak to our children, and we have to be able to take a deep breath and just be slow to respond. I remember thinking one time when my youngest one was having a bit of a tantrum, and I just got down on her level and remembered that she is 2. She's 2, and her reasoning skills are, I don't know if she has any, but just remembering that God uses every single moment to refine us, and I fail every single day in this area, but His mercy is new, and He is compassionate, and He is slow to anger. And so we should take from His cup. Cooking from scratch is definitely not something that I saw myself doing when I got married. I did not really know a lot about cooking, and I kind of just learned from the passion that I had within. And I did not think that I would be making English muffins. My younger self did not think that, but these are simple. You guys have to try them. And like I said earlier, they're gone. Not one of them remains. They are super delicious. Okay, so the next thing I'm going to show you is a Dutch baby, and this is a sourdough Dutch baby, but so simple. And my kids have been begging me to make 2 of these, which is 10 eggs. And earlier when I said that I have to be creative in getting eggs into my kids' diet, this has proven effective. So a Dutch baby is super easy. You just blend all of the ingredients together, and it helps if it is room temperature. So I have mine sitting here for just a little bit. I'm pouring it into a very hot cast iron pan, and then you just bake it. And it puffs up. It's like a huge pancake, and my kids devour it. I love to pair it with some grilled apples, and that is something that my kids love, the flavor of putting those grilled apples on top. So I'm gonna peel up some apples, I grill them in some butter, and add a little bit of cinnamon on top, and my kids go crazy over this meal. The Psalm of David that I mentioned earlier, Psalm 86, I was kind of contemplating over that this week, and one thing that really strikes me in this psalm is how faithfully David recounted the character of God as he prayed. And if you get some time, go and read the whole psalm. It is beautiful. He wasn't trying to win God's favor with his praise, but David was clinging in faith to the truths he knew about God. And as he prayed, David reminded himself of God's goodness, his faithfulness, his compassion, and his loving kindness. We have to always remind ourselves of these things as moms, and these thoughts will help spur us on to pray deeper and more often throughout the day. Okay, so this day I had prepared some of our favorite, we call them like Hawaiian rolls, but these are sourdough and they're fresh milled. I had baked them the previous night, so I'm pulling them out here of the oven just warmed up. These also have some yeast in them, so they are not an all-day roll. They rise pretty quickly and they are so delicious. So we are going to make some breakfast sandwiches with these this morning, and then I will save the rest for dinner. Another thing that I have found just monumental in my journey of motherhood is being able to withdraw and to get away from the busyness and carve out time for prayer. And this really only happens in the morning if I rise before my kids. I try to do the best job that I can to nourish my kids well, to school them well, but my house is very loud and my children all have different personalities. So coming before the Lord first thing in the morning is something that has helped me, and I just encourage you all to stop and take time and to think about how you can make this a reality in your own motherhood and in your own home. So that is a typical week in our home, and we repeat a lot of these meals every week, and I hope that this video was inspiring to you. And if you want to try any of the recipes, I have linked them below in the description. I hope that you have a blessed week, and I will see you on our channel for our next video.